How's it feel to be back in New York?
You know what? Yeah, I will say this. It's good to be back in studio. It's good to be back in the corridors of ESPN. I will say that I get here Saturday. It was like in the mid-70s.
About the weather.
2 hours later, it had dropped to 50. I'm like, well, damn. You know what I'm saying? This is the kind of stuff that irritates me, but I'm all right. I'm all right.
He'll adjust just in time to bounce on out of here. You know what I'm saying? Let's go to Steph Curry, though. He made his return to the court last night for the first time in 27 games. Curry did come off the bench to manage his minutes. He dropped a cool 29 points in 26 minutes. That included a good look and what could have been a game winner at the end, but the Warriors fall short to the Rockets, 117-116. Here is Steph on his return.
Felt good. Some good nerves going into it, and coming off the bench, you're trying to pace yourself physically, mentally to get ready for your runs. And first run was tough. Second run was great. Second quarter, once I got my feet underneath me, and obviously the momentum carried.
You can just feel it. We're back in the mix. You know, we're back in the fight with Steph.
No lies spoken there by Steve Kerr. They are back in the fight with Steph back. As I mentioned, he 26 minutes, dropped 29 points. But is it good for the Warriors to have Steph back, Stephen A?
Well, for me personally, because he's 37 years of age or what have you, listen, it's definitely good for the Warriors. The brother's box office. He's spectacular. We know he's a big-time talent. And just the way he's a magnet for the cameras because he talks that talk and backs it up. He's just the greatest shooter God ever created, and he's a phenomenal player. Me personally, because age has kicked in, attrition to some degree, having missed 27 straight games, you know, seeing him out there, I just hate it from the standpoint that it's useless for the Warriors. And you ain't going anywhere. You're going to be in the play-in as a 10th seed. You're going to go up against the Portland Trail Blazers. You might not make it out of the play-in. Watching Steph Curry is never bad for basketball. We all are treated to something special. Warriors fans are treated to something special. We get it. It's just that I'm thinking about, you know, next year and the year after, how much time he has left. And I don't want to see anything happen to this brother because I need him. Because he and Ant-Man are my two favorite players in the entire NBA to watch. And I don't want anything to happen that could derail his health in any way for him or the Warriors. No Jimmy Butler there. You know, they're clearly not healthy and whatever. I get it. I understand it. It's just that's where my trepidation kicks in.
It's great for the Warriors for him to come back. It's even better for the NBA that Stephen Curry comes back. Think about the double whammy of news that we received on Friday about Luka Doncic and then Austin Reeves and the Lakers. We're going to talk about them later.
Yep.
But on a Sunday night, he rolled back the stone, right? Easter Sunday. I was trying to figure out, why is Stephen A. dressed like this? Oh, yesterday was Easter. All right, cool, got it.
Got a pastel blue?
Yeah, just a little bit. I respect it. No, but I think my mother's favorite player is Stephen Curry. She stayed up last night to watch him. Stephen A. talked about it. Box office, you want him to play. I wish, Stephen A., the first round was 5 games. A team like the Golden State Warriors, Stephen Curry on a hot streak, if they get there, you can put a scare into Oklahoma City. Now, even if you get there, you got to win 2 road games. You got to win in Portland, then you'd have to win in either L.A. or Phoenix just to get to Oklahoma City. Who wants to really see Stephen Curry be led to slaughter? Because at that point, look at the Golden State roster.
Yeah.
Second-round draft picks, undrafted players. You're leading him to steak with a butter knife. And that's not anything that we want to see. It's unfortunate. I'm with Stephen A. to some degree. I want to see what the Warriors look like in the offseason. Jimmy Butler comes back. Steph Curry, better health. If they wind up going to get a big game ball player to help to make the old guys even older and give them one last run. But as of right now, it's just great for the NBA, but not necessarily great for the Warriors in their long term.
The one thing that is appealing is that you see him at age 37 looking as phenomenal as he looks. And you're wondering, who can Golden State go out there and get that would, even if you can't get him, this is the same thing, and we'll get into the New York Knicks later, but even if you can't get him, you want to find yourself in a position where when we talk about stars, it's something that we never really bring up, and I'm going to bring it up right now. When you talk about stars, what are the things that you had to marvel at when LeBron was in Miami? Was that you had cats wanting to come to Miami. Now, there's a lot of reasons to want to go to Miami. Let me be very clear about that. But this is one of them, okay? And you had cats clamoring to go and play for the Miami Heat. That's a big, big deal when you are a star. When you are a star the magnitude of a Steph Curry, you're waiting for those big-time stars. Even if their teams can't pull it off, you're just waiting for somebody to say, I want to go play with him. Because it's hard to imagine who wouldn't want to play with him. How could you not want to play? The only person that should never want to play with Steph Curry is somebody that wants to shoot as much from the outside as him, because you're always going to be second fiddle, which is one of the reasons why, as time goes on, we will applaud the greatness and the future Hall of Fame stature of a Klay Thompson, because you talk about the perfect partner for Steph Curry. That was it. Catch and shoot, and could launch with the best of them. Klay Thompson, one of the top 5 shooters in the history of basketball at his best. One of the top 5 shooters in the history of basketball. Easy. We forget that. But he was so complimentary to Steph Curry. You're now looking at those players because there's nobody out there that can complement Steph the way that Klay did in the backcourt. But you do have players in terms of, let's say, for example, hypothetically, a Giannis. What if Giannis stood up and said, I want to make sure I go to Golden State? And you think about the gazelle that he is, the dude that he is in the open court, the way that he finishes at the basket, and how he has to draw your attention. And then all of a sudden, he's somebody that could kick it out to that man, Steph Curry. It'd be like you fantasize about stuff like this. And right now, what I want to see is I want to see that person out there that says, I want to be in Golden State with that dude. That, to me, is the intrigue that's associated with the Golden State Warriors at this particular moment in time. I'm talking about moving forward.
What about flipping that, Steve? Because Stephen will be 39 this point next season. He can't be your absolute best player on a championship team. What if Stephen Curry is the complementary piece?
Right.
Not just saying, we want him to leave Golden State, but
Similar to LeBron this year.
Yes. But it had to be the perfect situation.
Thanks for the correction, because I forgot he turned 38 March 14th. So thank you for that. Yes.
Steve Kerr's in the final year of his contract.
Yep.
Jimmy Butler's coming off of this ACL. We don't know what that's going to look like. Draymond Green has an option. Who knows what that's going to look like? This could very well be the last dance of these Golden State Warriors, and they're just going to go out with a whimper. And at some point, they're going to have to make decisions as a franchise to move forward. If you're Stephen Curry, we all would like to see him finish his career. One uniform, one jersey, one franchise. In today's NBA, that's not as likely as it used to be.
That's true. I will say this to you. If I'm Joe Lacob, Steph Curry is going to have to come up in my face and pimp slap me and ask me to remove him before I let Steph Curry leave San Francisco. He's going to have to do something physically harm me if I'm the owner of the Golden State Warriors, because he's everything. He's everything. And this is the thing that we have to remember. His game, his exceptional, illustrious career is predicated on his shooting ability, his marksmanship. He's not someone that is successful because he was this marvelous above-the-rim athlete whose athleticism dissipates because age, attrition, and father time has kicked in. Steph Curry is literally he's simply a dude that just has to remain in shape and move without the basketball. That's it. That's it. Because his marksmanship is so extraordinary that he could literally do what he's been doing and averaging 27 a game in the games that he's played this year. Steph Curry could go out on a basketball court and literally give you 26, 27 a night shooting the basketball from the perimeter. That's how phenomenal and great he is. That's 3-4 more years left in this game, considering the level of condition he is, even at the age of 38, because he can walk past half court and pull up, and there's nothing that you can do about it. So because of that, you make an interesting point. If Steph Curry comes and says, all right, I'm ready to leave, which is hard to imagine him doing, then that's a different for me to depart. He has to do something like that. Otherwise, listen, I know Joe Lacob a little bit. I can't even imagine the level of depression that would kick in the day that Steph Curry departs, whether it's in retirement or whether it's him moving on. What would happen to Joe Lacob? They would need to send medical professionals to check up on him on a regular basis, because the level of depression that